This is problem 2 on the worksheet, and it's different from all the ones in the text and from other ones on the worksheet by the fact that we're dividing by a 2-digit numeral instead of a 1-digit numeral. So this is a little more challenging. But this is only base 3, so it's fairly easy. I'm going to start by making my chart over here to the right. 1, 2 base 3 times 1 is 1, 2 base 3. Now since we're in base 3, the only possible numerals we can put up here are 0, 1, or 2. Well, that's what 1, 2 times 1 is, so the only thing else we need to know is what's 1, 2 times 2. And that's a little tricky, so you're probably going to write it like we did multiplication to figure out what that's equal to. 2 times 2 is 4. How do you write 4 in base 3? It's 1, 3, remainder 1. And then 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. How do you write 3 in base 3? It's 1, 3, remainder 0. So 1, 0, 1. So our little multiplication table here only needs 2 entries. And now we begin. 1, 2. Well, that obviously is larger than 2, so we won't go into that. 1, 2, how many times will it go into 2, 2? Well, it can't be 2 times because 2 times is a 3-digit number, so it must only be once. 1 times 1, 2 is 1, 2. We subtract, I get 0 and a 1, and then I bring down my 1. How many times will 1, 2 go into 1, 0, 1? Oh, exactly twice. 2 times 1, 2 is 1, 0, 1. We subtract, we get 0. We bring down, we get 0. How many times does 1, 2 go into 0? 0 times. 0 times 1, 2 is 0. Subtract, bring down. We've got 2. How many times does 1, 2 go into 2? It doesn't. So 0 times 1, 2 is still 0. We subtract and bring down our 1. And so we have 1, 2 into 2, 1. Since it's a 2-digit number, bigger than 1, 2, it must go in once. 1 times 1, 2 is 1, 2, subtract. And be very careful here. You can do the entire problem right and get to this step and then get it wrong. This is not 21 and this is not 12, so the answer is not 9. You are subtracting in base 3, so you will have to borrow 3 in order to do the subtraction. So the 1 plus the 3 is 4, 4 minus 2 is 2, and that's your remainder. So the answer is 1, 2, 0, 0, 1, base 3, remainder 2, base 3. And that's 2-digit division. Okay, the next problem we're going to look at is a slightly modified version of problem 4 on the worksheet. The way you have it, your divisor is just the letter B, base 16. Yet I wanted to give you another example of a 2-digit divisor. So we're going to be dividing by 3B, base 16 instead. This won't be on the test. It's not in the book. You won't find examples of 2-digit divisors just because they're quite challenging. But I find them kind of fun. So I wanted to give you another example of a 2-digit divisor. So let's give it a look. Okay, problem 4 is probably the most challenging problem on the worksheet because of the divisor being 3B. I'm not going to take the time on the video to go through this, but you're going to want to make a chart of the multiples of 3B. This is what it would look like. 3B times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to F. Because you're in base 16, you could have multiples as large as 15. And so these are the products, what you'd get after multiplying it by 1 through 15. And these are all in base 16. So you're doing a lot of conversion here on the side to figure out what these numbers are. But we're going to use this chart now to do the division. So first of all, we have 3B. Obviously won't go into 5, so we're looking at how many times will it go into 5B. So if I reference my chart, what's the largest thing that's still smaller than 5B? 3B. Because 7, 6 is bigger than 5B, so it must only go in once. 1 times 3B is 3B. We subtract and bring down our F. We have 2, 0, F. How many times will 3b go into 20f? So go back to my chart, looking for 3-digit numbers smaller than 20f. 213 is bigger because 1's bigger than the 0. So 1d8 is the largest thing that's still smaller than 20f. So the answer is 8. What is 8 times 3b? Well, if you've done the chart, 8 times 3b is 1d8. Subtract. This is 15 minus 8, so 7. You borrow to subtract here. Remember to borrow 16. So this is 16. Take away 13, which is 3. And bring down the e. How many times does 3b go into 37e? Back to our chart. Largest thing that's still smaller than 37e is 375. That's smaller, so it goes in f times. And f times 3b was 375 off our chart. Subtract. E is 14. Take away 5. We get 9. And we bring down our 2. How many times 3b go into 9-2? Largest thing that's still smaller than 9-2 would be 7-6. B1's bigger because b's bigger than 9. So it goes in twice. And 2 times 3b is 7-6 off our chart. Subtract. Be careful again. You're in base 16. So borrow 16. 18 minus 6 is 12, which is a C. And 8 minus 7 is 1. So the answer to this division problem is 18F2 base 16, remainder 1C base 16.